all done it. Played hundreds of hours on a game and then, well, stopped. You didn't know it would be the last time, or that you'd never go back when you stopped. But life happens, things get in the way, and then you're seeing a trailer for an update and suddenly getting flashbacks to when a certain game was your entire life. But the good news is, you can always go back, and some games are all the better for returning to them after some time away. So let's look at some long-running games you should totally go back to in 2022.
Oh, to set sail as a pirate captain. Does boatloads of new features we proclaim.
Now embarking on a rum-drenched Season 7, Sea of Thieves is the perfect game to go back at almost any time. Over the years, this beautiful sailor map has added ships, pets, hordes of customization options, cooking, and endless ways to feel even more like a true pirate. This year alone, the game has added a full suite of swashbuckling upgrades, including letting you name your ship, complete with engravings which can be seen through spyglass from afar, and added the ability to fully customize your captain's quarters. Importantly, despite the constant DLC drops, Sea of Thieves never feels like it's too complex to get back into. Like Sea of Thieves, Obsidian's buggy but in a good way survival game has been slowly building out its features over the years. If you've not been taking on the horrors of the back garden for a while, you'll be pleased to hear that a new cookery item has replaced the oven, and that a shared worlds feature means you can create a fresh world that is stored in the cloud and can be played by friends when you're not online. Add in a stack of new armor and weapon changes, and oh yes, a pet gnat, and Grounded's surprisingly terrifying survival experience is going to feel better than ever, even if you do have to turn the spiders into glowing light orbs to be able to play. No Man's Sky is not the same game that was released in 2016. In the last 6 years, developer Hello Games has revolutionized the entire experience with a fittingly seemingly infinite number of upgrades and patches. Want to ride on procedurally generated creatures? Feed them and harvest their feces for craftables? How about building a freighter base from scratch all the way down to the decor? Or add cultivation chambers where you can farm crops all day? Maybe you want to travel via wormholes or meet organic frigates swimming across the galaxy like Space Squid. And that's just all the recent updates. Multiplayer with friends is now seamless, and No Man's Sky feels incredible to play. To enter this endless universe now is to realize that you might actually not need to play anything else ever again. The cute overload of Ooblets has been lurking in early access for a few years now, but these adorable critters have finally had a full release across Xbox, PC and Switch. This means true coziness as we arrive in a town of charming individuals and ludicrously squee-inducing creatures with names like Scuttle, Wiggle Whip and Clicky Claws. While we've already had the pleasure of growing them from seeds and having them battle in dance-offs, a welcome change from traditional Pokemon-style brawls, the Ooblets experience hasn't been complete until now. The full release has a conclusion to the mainline story, some final balancing, fresh customization options, and entirely new locations for us to explore, while followed by a little troop of squishy looking individuals. Given the scale of previous locations and the love that's clearly gone into making them feel unique, this is the best excuse we need to dive back in. Come on, Feeble has been missing you. Let's stay on the cute train and celebrate the full release of Temtem. Luckily, Game Freak's lawyers don't appear to have noticed this absolutely delightful multiplayer Pokemon alike, and it's now available across consoles as well as PC, where it's been in early access since early 2020. Even in its original incarnation, jumping into the game with a friend was instantly lovely, as you caught and trained up the many varieties of Temtem to become the ultimate trainer. Version 1.0 of the game has made some big upgrades across the board. The dev team has been sharing its secrets in a so-called Golden Week of changes before its launch, but there's been an overhaul of the campaign mode, with big changes regarding NPC numbers to make it a slicker experience. Add in enough economy changes, balancing and location upgrades, and this looks truly worth getting back into. Fallen off the Destiny 2 Horse Guardian? Not to worry, there are plenty of light-filled reasons to reunite with your ghost. To say Destiny 2 has been through some changes since its original 2017 release is a colossal understatement. While the central gameplay remains satisfyingly the same whether you're a hunter, warlock or titan, Bungie's sprawling shooter is now free to play. Destiny 2 New Light gives you access to all of the original Destiny 2 campaigns and locations prior to the Forsaken and Shadowkeep add-ons. This means even if you don't want to spend a penny, there's hours of free content. Obviously, the new season passes will deliver new campaign missions if you do want to invest, and let's face it, you probably will, but you can at least spend as much time as you want dancing in the tower between free missions.
Almighty Odin, for only a god can kill a god.
If you were swigging mead with Eivor on release back in 2020, you'd have been forgiven for stopping after the 100 or so hours of open world Vikinging. But 2 years of consistent updates means that you should definitely consider picking up your axe again. On top of the paid campaigns of Wrath of Druids, the Ratfield Siege of Paris, and this year's more fantastical Dawn of Ragnarok, there's been a slew of free add-ons. The recent roguelike edition is fun, but Creed fans shouldn't miss the crossover stories miniature campaign that takes Eivor to the Isle of Skye. Here they meet none other than Assassin's Creed Odyssey's Cassandra for some Apple of Eden related hijinks. There's even a bonus mission to play first in Odyssey to fully set up the narrative. Yes, sweet Assassin's Creed dreams are truly made of this. After years of free, huge additions to Stardew Valley, the farming masterpiece is still getting tweaked in 2022. It's not just been the odd quality of life update to make your planting adventures easier. Depending on when you put down your pixelated hoe, you could have missed multiplayer, adding fish to your farm, and even a whole new island of things to do. Despite the fact that keen Stardew players would have happily paid for new additions, everything has been entirely free, and that means over the 6 years since release, the game has transformed dramatically in size and scope. There's even a hidden room on Ginger Island with some serious endgame content. We'll even give you a helping hand to get there. You'll need iridium, battery packs, and hard wood to fix the boat at the back of Wiley's hut. On release in 2020, Microsoft Flight Simulator felt like a true wonder, with the genuine possibility of "I can see my house from here" moments and a literal world of sightseeing. The game has appealed to both seasoned flyers and wet behind the ears pilots who immediately turned on every assist. And somehow, the dev team at Azobo Studios has managed to keep both camps happy with constant new additions over the last 2 years. To quite literally keep the game real, locations have been fully overhauled with fresh photogrammetry, and there has been a steady drip of new locations, like the Las Vegas Strip and a variety of airports. Plus, in somewhat less realistic news this year, Azobo added the Halo Infinite Pelican ship to fully embrace your inner Master Chief. It has also revealed a special 40th anniversary edition of the game with vintage aircraft and helicopters releasing in November 2022 that, most importantly, will be free for existing players. The brilliant thing about games being in early access for extended periods of time means that even a year or two away from a game can make a huge difference. Phasmophobia was terrifying enough with its ghost hunting with friends formula, but the scares are more intense than ever in 2022. Custom difficulty is on its way in the near future, but there have been some big changes in ghost behaviors and quality of life improvements, as well as all new specters and spooks to identify. These randomized monstrosities will now follow you around corners and, terrifyingly, now open lockers and closets to look for you unless you hold them shut. Although that really doesn't feel like an improvement as such. Add in truck revamps and ghost hunting equipment upgrades, and Phasmophobia is scarier than ever. But what about what you've been playing? Is there anything on your rotation you think people should go back to? Drop any recommendations or suggestions in the comments below.